Cannonier and Brunson, where do you want to start, guys? Because breaking down the fight, I don't think is the most exciting thing. I think, what did this fight represent and what was on the line? And this was really for nobody to say. Derek and Jared had agreed with each other that this is the number one contenders match. We, the audience, were forced into that because there wasn't another option. You'd have to go to Sean Strickland, but Sean's ranked like number 6. That's a big ways down from 2 and 3 going at it. Sean didn't get the final word. And when Sean did have the platform, he didn't really go after Adesanya, not much. He was pretty open that, hey, I'll fight whoever next, and hopefully the guy's got a championship, meaning it could be Whitaker, it could be this guy, it could be... He was a little bit open. Wasn't real clear. Whereas Brunson, Cannonier, had this narrative, they created it, but they ran with it, and when you're the only ones doing that, it puts you in a pretty good position. The media picked up on it. Dana did not sign off. I believe the number one reason for that is Adesanya needed to have his say. And Adesanya always does a great job. As soon as one job ends, he sets up tomorrow's work. So we knew at home, we will find out tonight who's next at middleweight. But we're going to find out the last thing of the evening when Izzy tells us. And if Izzy's not the one telling us, it means Whitaker won, which means Izzy is next, and we don't need to even ask the question. Now, I say that because it is playing out exactly as everybody thought. Izzy said Cannonier. Dana leaned towards Cannonier. Cannonier stepped forward. But what happened in that fight? It was Wednesday of last week. I was speaking to my producer about that fight. Now, I knew they were fighting. I knew that Brunson and Cannonier were fighting. I did not know they were fighting Saturday. On Wednesday of last week, I was asked to do a piece on this and speak to it, and I had to challenge my producer, who went to something called the internet. He had to search, and he also lives in the same business. He did not know off the top of his head that they were fighting on Saturday. That is a huge problem, and I don't accept responsibility for it. If you have a fight coming up and I don't know who, what, when, why, and where, you have done something wrong. I do think that's relevant. If you're going to build a main event, you're going to put like a Izzy, who's claiming to be the highest paid guy in the UFC, second, of course, to McGregor. If that's true, he's going to need somebody to meet him halfway. And Jared is not the guy. However, Jared checks a lot of other boxes, and this is the one we're at. So let's take a little bit of a look at Cannonier, at Derek, and see what happened. Because it was much like what happened with Derek Lewis, when Derek threw everything but the kitchen sink at Tai Tuivasa, and Tai Tuivasa took it. That's what happened to Brunson. Brunson did everything right. He looked beautiful in the first round. Then he even got to the back. He tried to finish it. Time runs out. He goes, oh my goodness, I got to go to the next round. And it just looked as though Derek checked out mentally. Many people said Derek looked tired. I can't tell you that he wasn't tired, but I also can't tell you that he was. I don't know. Derek Lewis can push 5 minutes, no problem. He's pushed 5 rounds, no problem. So I have a hard time believing just on the numbers that after 5 minutes he was tired. However, if you have an adrenaline dump, it's a totally different thing. Doesn't matter how many sprints you got in. I mean, how many times you jump rope, how many early mornings you climbing stairs. If you have an adrenaline dump, you now have something else working against you. I didn't see that he was tired. A lot of people did. But I could see that he checked out. I could see that mentally he didn't like that there was potentially 10 minutes left. I've seen Derek Brunson be able to take the kinds of shots that he sold last night. It looked like I've had enough for whatever reason. The lights get bright, a number one contendership, potentially things get on the line. I don't think it was Derek's best performance. And I don't say that to put him down. I say that to kind of cover for him. I think that Derek is a lot better than that. And I think that Derek was very dominant in the first round against the guy who was now 1 win away from having the belt. I think that Brunson has really proved that he is upper echelon. Even if it didn't end well, there was 5 minutes that were dominated by him against a guy who only has to beat one other guy to have the world champion. Derek Brunson's very good. Cannonier did everything right. Cannonier, for the first time ever, spoke up at the end of a night. When that fight ended, I don't think anyone's looking around going, okay, there's your number one contender. We're going to package this guy and we're going to put him with Adesanya. Yeah, good luck. And then he grabbed the microphone and he brought the building down. And he had Houston cheering his name, and he went to Dana White directly, and he tried to get a confirmation. He showed us, the audience at home, that he wants it, and we need to know that a guy wants it. When you say you don't care who you're going to fight, I know that your message is, I'm a badass and I'll fight anybody, but it's not what you said. You said you don't care. If you don't care, we don't care. If you don't care who the number one contender is, whether it's you or not, then we don't care if it's you or not. We're not going to care more about you and your well-being than you do. We're going to care less, which means you got to care the most. And you got to show us it matters, and that's what he did. Cannonier showed us it mattered. And then all of a sudden, when Cannonier was done talking, you start thinking back and going, well, I don't know if he got dominated in the first round. Instead of me leaving tonight knowing the one and only round that was completed, this guy got his ass kicked. Instead of me leaving with that, all of a sudden I'm going, no, he came back. He had a heart of a champion. He dealt with adversity. It's the same thing. We're saying the same thing. We saw it the same way. What opinion do we leave with? We left that fight when it ended thinking, oh my God, he's not the number one contender. Where's Sean Strickland right now? Within 2 minutes, he let us know how much it mattered. He yelled for Dana White. He yelled his name a third time. He said, it's me. It's only me. And he makes a good argument. There was nobody ranked higher. There's nobody that's got a feature match coming up that could possibly affect where this is going to go. And ultimately, he got the mandate by Adesanya, who has a history of picking his own opponents. And what a difference a day makes. I just want Jared to have learned something. Jared is tough as an old leather boot, and his story is awesome. And his dedication and the road that he went to get to where he's now at, just come out and tell it. Make sure people are aware. Derek doesn't as flashy as Izzy. And Derek, I apologize, Jared, he doesn't have these takedowns that's going to, be right in line with the blueprint to win a moment or two against Adesanya. But he's got a hell of a chin. He got a hell of a gas tank. And he's got one opportunity to see a dream come true. That's the story. That's the only story. Now, Jared, you go out there. You do your job. And tell it.